Hi guys, it's Tuesday, so it's Down and Dirty Woodscraft. Stay with me. Hi guys. Okay, continuing in the Down and Dirty Woodscraft. I want to dedicate this episode to Mark Hudson, which was a gentleman I've talked to for a while, but I really got to meet face to face this past weekend at the Southeast Bushcraft Base Camp in North Alabama on Duggar Mountain. And he said he really enjoyed my Down and Dirty series, so I want to thank him for that. And here's a trick I'd like to share with you in honor of Mark. So, you're going to have to generate something ahead, or you can do it at the time. But let me show you what you're going to generate. You're going to generate a loop of bank line. How big will be a difference, and I'll explain that in a minute. With a loop on the end of it, and another piece attached to the end that's a pair of ties. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. First thing you're going to do, you're going to get your bank line, and you're going to take a rough guesstimate to how big. That will become obvious by the end of this video of how big. Okay? Now I'm going to take and measure out for what I'm going to make, and we're going to say that I need that much. I'm immediately going to cut it. Put a knot in the end, because you know that 36 bank line will unravel if it's not properly tarred. Okay? Put the two halves together. Double it in half. Now there at the two knots, you want to do an overhand knot, and then you want to scoot it up tight against the knots as you can get. Okay? And then pull it down real snug. Just like that. Now on the opposite end, find the center. You want to pinch it and do an overhand knot, and you want to leave about a thumb size loop on the end of it. So here we are. I pulled my knots down, pulled it in half, and then I did an overhand knot, and I've left a loop that I can put my thumb through, let's say. Okay? Now I'm going to cut another piece, 8-10 inches long. I'm going to cut it as well. Always tie off a knot on the end of your roll of bank line so it doesn't unravel in your pack. And then on each end of that piece I just cut, I'm going to put a small knot. Just something to keep from unraveling. Now, taking that little thumb-sized loop, we go to the opposite end, where the knots are that we tied. You want to go between the two cords, double it in half, and do a knot to secure it up there where those knots are. So just an overhand knot's good, but you know, square knot would be fine. There. Now here's the completed project. We have our thumb-sized loop, we have our looped opening, and we have our ties on the end. Okay? Now we get to the actual construction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take green. Now these are not, I'm just using something I had around the yard for demonstration purposes, but green saplings about thumb size or a little bit bigger. Depending on the project, that'll become obvious in a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to gather a group of them till we got as many as we need for the project. That will become obvious in a moment. Okay. Now it is time to start creating. Oh, also you're going to need 2 of these loop sets. I meant to say that. Make 2 complete sets of what we just made with the loops and the knots. And then you're also going to want 2 kind of short sticks. fairly heavy and green. We'll get to that. Now let me adjust the camera and I'll show you
Okay,
exactly
we got our
what
pile
we're
of
gonna do.
sticks and we got our 2 loops. We're going to take our first loop and we're going to start where the thumb hole is. We're going to take that short stick that we're going to use and we're going to stick it into that. Give it like 2 turns to tighten it up a little bit. Put it down on the ground. I'm going to take my foot to hold it in place. Now I'm going to open up that loop. I'm going to put my first stick through, just like that. I'm then going to twist the cords in the direction of the long part of the stick. I'm going to stick my next stick in, putting through like 1 inch or so. Twist the cords toward that way and continue. One at a time, keeping my lines even. Grab the knot up here at the top every so often and pull it to make sure you're not getting one side tighter than the other. And just keep laying them in there, about 1 inch each. Just like that. Twist, pull it snug with your finger, put the next one in. Twist, put the next one in. Keeping the ends even. Twist, put the next one in. And then finally, twist, put the last one in. Alright, now I have went all the way across, sticking them in, and then twisting it that way. Okay? Here are my 2 tie-ties. Now, I'm going to put my hand onto the sticks. I'm going to grab this stick, and I'm going to twist it. As I do, I'm going to grab and pull to snug up the whole set. Keep twisting. Every so often, like 3 or 4 turns, and then pull away from us so that it pulls the whole stack tighter. Just like this. When I get it as tight as I can get it and it's starting to kink up on itself, I'm going to lay it down like that, and those 2 ties we had, that's what I'm now going to tie it with. I'm going to go around a couple times, tie it down snug, just like this. Now that's got this side secure. Now I'm going to go to my far side. I'm going to have to do this one just a little bit differently. Let me scoot this where you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Now I'm going to take my loop, but this time I'm going to start on the end with the ties. Okay? And I'm going to put it in. This time I'm going to twist toward me because it's toward the long end. Pull it up tight, twist it toward me, put in the stick, pull it up tight, twist it toward me, put in the stick. It's a little bit of a juggling act till you get used to it. Put in the stick, twist it toward me, put in the next stick. I did this when I was a kid and I never thought about using it in bushcraft until recently. I was at that camp out at Duggar Mountain and this came back to me and I started to do it and then I thought, nah, nah. So decided to do it this way and share with everybody. Alright, now when I get down here then I can't twist it to get this last one in. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them side by side. Okay? Now into here I put my little twisting stick and do the same job I did before. Start twisting, pull it tight, twist, pull it tight, twist. Now I bend it over. I take my ties, go under twice, cinch it up, and then I put a square knot on top of it, just like that. And thus, I now have a platform. Now, this gets, and slide your hand underneath it, it's flat, because those sticks that I use as cross members are holding it up. Now, it will freestand like this. So this becomes a door. This becomes a gate. This becomes a part of a trap. This becomes a platform to set a trap on. This becomes something for me to set my butt on to get it up off the wet ground if I use bigger sticks underneath this. This becomes a very useful piece of kit and very quickly made and quickly undone without any fancy lashings. Okay, stay with me. For just something to cut with, something to cut the sticks with, and a little bit of bank line, I'm able to create this. Now this is a building block. This becomes whatever I want it to be by scaling it up in length. I need a table 6 feet long, 3 feet wide. Cut the sticks and make the loop for that. I need a bed. I go up to saplings about that big around, reach up as high as I can reach. That's where I mark it, and that's the size of I cut, with alternating the big ends and the small ends, and I lash it together like this. Then I put it up on 2 blocks or 2 cut logs, and suddenly I've got an elevated bed. I can take and make this as part of a trap, a door. I can make this into, if I continue with this becomes a sitting platform. And this, even though these are only thumb-sized sticks, will support my weight. I can sit on this because I'm spreading the load. So if I put like a 1-inch diameter cross member on either side, or 2-inch, or after I make this I sit it on top of such a thing, and I continue this back, and then I go up, and I make what was called a Native American lazy back, where I can lean back and have my feet straight out and have an actual recliner. It uses a tripod on the back for the back angle, and you can just adjust the tripod to lay it out flat like a bed or stand it up. It was part of TP living. All of this took was just a couple of minutes and a little bit of bank line. That was it. So, to answer that question, how big a loop? How big do you want? I measured how long I wanted to cut the sticks, and that's how big I made my loop. So that when I came around it, I knew it'd be about 1 hand for me. I wanted that loop to be 1 hand plus about, 1 inch for the twists. So there becomes a platform. This can become whatever I want just by scaling it up, or etc. Now, in a haversack, suppose I go ahead and I carry a loop made up for something like this. That's a quick table. All I gotta do is just make legs to hold it up, or stick it between the V of a tree. I can take paracord and hang this for a hanging shelf that I want something up off the ground where I can have something I can sit on and grab quickly without having to put it in a bag. Infinite ideas and possibilities, all brought to you by the simple concept of a loop with a twisting loop and a tie-tie. That's it. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. And until next time, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.